It's Monday, it's Weather for Weather Geeks time, and Mike Joyce, as he usually is on most Mondays, with me today. And Mike, we are kind of in between severe thunderstorm watches here this afternoon. Severe thunderstorm watch over towards Philly, D.C., Baltimore, New York, and then one out to the west, including Chicago, Indianapolis, not quite to Fort Wayne maybe, but South Bend, Champaign, Illinois. And here in the Valley, we had some midday rain, but things are pretty quiet right now. So, the big question is what's going to happen the rest of the day, and we'll show you a couple of computer models here in just a second. But for now, as we record this at 2:05, things are pretty calm in the weather department. You, of course, worked this past weekend. Yesterday was the day when we had the potential for severe weather.
Right.
But everything just didn't quite come together for any kind of a big outbreak, right?
Right, exactly. Yeah, I remember yesterday I was rushing in to get into work early, ran into a little bit of traffic, and then as soon as I walked in the door, the watch was canceled.
Yeah.
And which is nice because that at least calms us down a little bit, and we didn't have too much damage. There were a few small damage reports around the valley, but it really turned out to be a lot better than it could have been.
It really did. It was a bullet that was dodged nicely. Down in East Liverpool, I saw that a tree came down on a house somewhere. So that was unfortunate, but all things considered, we kind of dodged one yesterday. You can see the big storms over in Pennsylvania right now, heading into that watch box area just east of State College, now heading towards Harrisburg, eventually Reading and Allentown, and out to the west. Most of this, even though Chicago's in the watch, most of it's south and east of the Windy City right now. Temperatures this afternoon, mid-70s. It is very, very muggy out there. Check out the dew points. They're pretty close to 70 now. Mike, this is going to be the last day this week when we have dew points like this. Thank goodness.
Right. Our actual highs are going to be close to this
Yeah,
in the
exactly.
next couple of days.
Exactly. So not only is it turning much cooler, it's going to be turning quite a bit less humid as well. So if you're not a fan of this type of warmth and humidity, just hang in there one day and things are going to change. Our cold front is out here across the Midwest. Look how cool it is across the Midwest this afternoon. It's only in the 50s in a few spots where they've got the clouds. Let me throw up the satellite here. They've got the clouds. They've got some scattered showers. It almost is like an October day up here in the upper Midwest. That's where our cold front is. That's the air mass that's coming our way. It's going to modify some, so it's not going to be that cool here, but it's still going to be, fairly far below the average. Lots and lots of hype about the polar vortex coming down this week. And the bottom line is, whatever you want to call it, it's a big dip in the jet stream. It's an unusually cool air mass for this time of the year. Not unheard of by any stretch. Here in Northeast Ohio, Western PA, we had a cool snap like this 5 years ago, back in 2009. So it happens every now and then, but it's certainly a little bit startling in mid-July to be talking about highs near 70 when we could be at 100,
Right.
in the extreme cases at this time of the year. So that's what we have coming up this week. Let's talk about the short term then. Take off all the current information. Bring up the latest high-resolution rapid refresh model. This is the real short-term computer model that'll show us what the radar should look like. I'm going to fast forward a couple of hours here. We'll start this at 4 o'clock this afternoon. It does try to redevelop things a little bit around parts of the valley here in a couple of hours. This might be a little bit overdone based on the current radar. This would have to just basically pop up out of nowhere, which it may very well do. But the coverage is probably not quite as extensive as the model says here. It's 5 o'clock and then 6 o'clock. As you can see, eventually, the model shows this kind of scattered activity. So if you have outdoor plans for the rest of the day today, you want to have our app with you on your smartphone or your tablet. Check in on social media as well. We'll keep you updated on what the radar is doing. But, it's going to be one of those real classic summertime hit or miss kind of a days this afternoon. Earlier, there was some concern about maybe some severe weather today. We were under the slight risk from the Storm Prediction Center. They have trimmed that now. The yellow area is their slight risk area. So it's not here anymore. So we were talking before how when we saw this morning, we didn't quite believe. We didn't quite buy it. We didn't see this as much of a severe weather day. And eventually the Storm Prediction Center concurred and took us out of the slight risk. So severe weather is not that likely. Scattered showers and storms, yeah. We'll probably be dealing with that through the daylight hours this evening. I'll fast forward here to 8 p.m. Same idea. Some backyards are going to get a little wet. A lot of backyards will not. Once we head into the overnight tonight, here's the wee hours of tomorrow morning at 2 a.m. And at this point, our cold front's approaching. And our front by this point's kind of like right in through here. Band of showers along that. We'll probably try to push in for tomorrow morning. When you did the noon show today, are we just allowing for something in the morning tomorrow? Is that the idea, or are we allowing for something all day?
I think it's just going to be morning, if that. I mean, this line of showers could even be out of here by the time a lot of people are going to work.
Yeah, let's talk about tomorrow morning, because here's tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. And the NAM model here, the North American model, actually kind of peters that next band of showers out.
Mm-hmm.
So that's 7 in the morning. Let's go to midday then tomorrow. We're just going to kind of break this down for you so you can plan your Tuesday. By this point, I think the chance for showers are starting to decrease by midday. Here's 11 in the morning, noon. At this point, we're probably in the clear.
Mm-hmm.
So we have that to look forward to. What we also have to look forward to is, of course, the much advertised cooler weather. This is a look at tonight's lows up in the Midwest, where we just showed you temperatures now are in the 50s and 60s. Some of these real cool spots in Minnesota flirting with 40 tonight. And this air mass, as it moves east, will modify some. But tomorrow night and maybe even Wednesday night, and some of the real cool spots in northern Pennsylvania around I-80, real chilly nooks through there could be places that get well down into the 40s. And even here in Youngstown, slipping into the upper 40s, that seems to be fairly likely, or at least possible.
I agree, yeah.
Yeah. So, again, unusual cool weather. Not only will record lows be challenged around the region, perhaps even here, I haven't seen the records yet this week, but I imagine we're close to one or two of them. But record low maximum temperatures may be in jeopardy for a day or two. In other words, the coolest high temperature on record for that date, particularly on Wednesday. I think it's within reach. If I remember looking from last week, I think Wednesday's record low maximum is 71.
Really?
So it's definitely, kind of
Right.
in jeopardy. So yeah, unusual, not unheard of, but unusual. I showed you the slight risk. Let's finish things up with the long range. Once we get through the cool snap midweek, we're going to start to rebound pretty nicely towards the end of the week and into the weekend. And really no big storms heading our way, right?
No, the weekend's looking really good. And even then, like you said, the temperatures are trending up, but it's not going to be a massive heat wave. It's going to be more typical July weather, low 80s, mid 80s, a little more humid, but nothing unbearable.
Yeah, I talked about last week on this video a few times how no 90s are in sight. There, we haven't had a 90 yet this year. Hit 89 once, but we don't see a heat wave coming through the end of July, probably. Here's the 16-day temperature outlook on the GFS Ensemble model. Again, as much as 15 below average, particularly at night, middle of the week, but then we get back up pretty close to average end of the week, and this model suggests that a lot of the longer range will be fairly unremarkable within a few degrees of average on either side. So that means a lot of days in the 80s, a lot of nights in the 60s, pretty typical July weather, but a 92-degree day with a low of 74, the dog days of summer, doesn't look real likely. So if that's not your thing, you're going to like, I think, our forecast. It's not my thing. I'm not a big fan of 95 degrees personally. So I got no complaints. All right. That's weather for Weather Geeks on this Monday. Again, stay tuned on social media and on your WFMJ app to keep an eye to the sky this afternoon. If you have some things to do outdoors, you want to check in frequently, we'll let you know where the thunderstorms are or are not. And we'll see you back here tomorrow afternoon for Weather Geeks.